Jaws, what's up, man?
Spike, Ike, Fritz, great to be with you guys, and I am really looking forward to this game. When the schedule came out, this was the one I said, these 2 weeks against Green Bay and Detroit are going to really determine our season. So phase one of it, taken care of with a W. Let's see if we can do it in phase two.
Yeah, I think Detroit probably had this one circled too. Even I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown in the offseason said that he was hoping they would get us the Thursday night, the first game of the year, because they wanted to play us so badly.
Yeah, well, we want to play the world champs. That's kind of the gold standard right now. And you want to play the best, see if you can beat the best, and it sets up for a great game. Now, at the end of last season, everyone's talking about the Lions. Their defense, which is riddled with injuries a year ago. Right now, they're very healthy. And the one thing I've really noticed, and I could probably appreciate this, we talk about so much about numbers and players and yada yada yada. As I look at tape on Detroit, they might be the best tackling team in the NFL. And I've always felt I'll speak like a defensive guy. Kind of the essence of playing defense is tackling. Duh. But we never talk about it. But when I watch Detroit, they are very good tacklers. So it's going to be a real good test for our running backs.
So let me ask you this, Jaws. When you were on with us last week and you correctly predicted that the Eagles would beat the Packers, you said that you believe the Eagles were going to run the table. After that game, did you feel better about that, worse about that, or no different?
I feel better. That's probably a crazy statement, right? I know people think something's wrong. By the way, I made a bold statement, but I believed it. I said, this team is good enough. Now, I don't think they're playing as good as they can play, which to me is very much a positive. But this is, I think it's the best roster in the NFL. I think they can beat any team they line up to play against. So I feel very positive about this football team. And I think they'll only get better as time moves on. 7-2, sitting in a good position without playing your best football is a real positive to me.
Yeah, I think we've talked to a few people this week that were, offense has been up and down for sure. I think we all thought the momentum from the Minnesota game to the Giants game, it was trending to a place where okay, they can run the ball now. And then we hit Monday night and it didn't look like they could. What did you see that was happening that sort of prevented the Eagles from really having any sustained drives aside from the first one?
For the first time, maybe in a long time, I thought this after watching the game and looking at the tape of the game. I thought we played a little bit scared. Now, I don't mean that in a fearful way. We didn't shake up the champagne bottle and pull the cork. We were very conservative in our approach to the game on both sides of football. And by the way, you got to mention Jalen Phillips, of course. I can't believe the guy played 53 snaps. He's been around for 5 days. Just a remarkable effort. But I just felt it was kind of one of those games of ultimate respect for each other. The Packers respected us, and we respected the Packers. And it was a very kind of conservative approach to the game. No one was aggressive. No one was throwing the ball down the field. And it was kind of like those, it was going to go 15-round type fights, and you're going to save everything for the last round. That's kind of how I felt about the game. We were after watching the game, we were clearly the better football team than the Packers, but we let them hang around.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this game Sunday, Jaws, and the biggest thing for me is our defense going up against this Lions offense and whether or not we match up well. You mentioned Jalen Phillips. That's awesome that we have him because we're going to need him Sunday. Because I think the key to this game, and you tell me if you think something different, obviously is a tackling. You mentioned that earlier. But also putting pressure on Jared Goff in the interior part. Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo, those guys getting after that guard center sort of tandem there and not letting Jared Goff get comfortable in this offense, I think will be the key to us winning the game.
I agree with you 100%. When you watch Goff and you watch him throughout his career, he is a rhythm quarterback. He's kind of an old school kind of guy. He's not going to beat you with bootlegs outside the pocket. They throw a lot of gimmick, not a lot, but they occasionally throw a gimmick and gadget play. But he's your prototypical NFL pocket passer. And he plays the game very, very cerebral, and he gets his pre-snap look. He validates the defense on his drop, and when that back foot hits, the ball is coming out. He's not going to be standing there waiting the ball and looking around for second and third receivers. He determines where he wants to go to the football as soon as that back foot hits. So it's going to, and I think you nailed it. You said pressure up the middle. He can avoid the edge rush. He can step, but the pressure up the middle, I think, will be the difference. And Jalen Carter played phenomenal last week in 63 snaps, and guy looking around 330 pounds to play 63 snaps is quite a testament to his conditioning and the way he's playing the game right now. So I think him and Jordan Davis will be key in this matchup.
What do you think of the decision of Dan Campbell taking over play calling for the Lions? It seemed like he came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard any rumblings about it at all. Is there anything different about the way you think he calls a game that could affect the Sunday night?
Oh, absolutely. I think Dan Campbell is everything he does is aggressive. And he probably felt they weren't throwing the ball downfield enough. They weren't running enough play action. But they're very well. They do not have a weakness. So maybe I'm saying something that isn't true, but he wants to be aggressive, and that's just the nature of Dan Campbell. That's his personality. So I think he thought maybe they were being a little conservative on offense. Although I thought they were pretty darn good. If they were conservative, they were still pretty darn good. But I think he kind of felt, I don't know what he said publicly about why he did it, but I just think he felt they were conservative.
Jaws, I have to ask you one question about the AJ stuff, which we are officially tired of.
I missed something.
Well, yeah. It's funny. We got to talk about it because it's a big story. Our listeners all the time think that we love it and we perpetuate it. It's like there's no bigger story on a Wednesday when it happens. So let me ask you this, and you were obviously a great quarterback in the NFL. When it's at least perceived publicly that the wide receiver is questioning the quarterback, and the quarterback has to repeatedly answer questions about it. And then I don't know if you've gone deep into this, but when they each get asked questions about the communication with each other, they always talk about communication in groups. They don't really talk about conversing with each other. The trust that a quarterback has to have in his wide receiver, especially with a wide receiver like AJ, who you're going to throw to, hopefully, even if the coverage is close. Could that be affected by all of this going on? And not even consciously, but subconsciously, you sort of lose trust that the guy is going to do what you need him to do in a certain situation?
Of course it can happen. I'm not saying it happened, but it can happen. As I look at my career, I played with two Hall of Famers. Harold Carmichael is in the NFL Hall of Fame. Mike Quick is in the Eagles Hall of Fame. And I think where we bonded was in the off season, where we would spend Monday, Wednesday, and Friday working out at Veterans Stadium, working on our routes, and with Coach Ramil getting the timing and rhythm. And besides that, we played a lot of softball together. We'd go bowling. We'd have a beer. We'd do all the things that really brought people together. I'm not saying this doesn't happen with Jalen and how he deals with the other players on the team, but I know that was important to us to build that personal relationship off the field. And I'll say it again, build that relationship off the field, because that's when you can count on someone. You find out more about them. How are your kids? How's your family? What's going on in their life? So I think that was important for me. It was important for Harold. It was important for Mike. But I'm going to be sure. I'm not saying that is what is happening. And most of the comments I make in relation to the game, it's the game on the field. And I tell you what I see and what I feel, and I'm not going to pull any punches. I don't think AJ's getting open enough. Against zone coverage, he's fantastic. He knows when to settle in the hole. He knows when to find the void of the defense. But with his man-to-man routes, he's not winning as often as he did in the past. So that as I would look at it, just from a quick perspective of maybe why Jalen's not going to him. Zone, he's fine. Man-to-man, he's not getting open enough. He's not getting the separation that I think he used to get in the past. Now, I don't know if maybe the bumps and bruises over the last couple of years he sustained slowed him down a bit, but he's not getting the separation that I think you need to be consistently open in the NFL.
Great insight, Joss. So we know you're going to predict that they're going to win, but score-wise, what do you? Because you already said they're going to win the rest of their games. So
we're still running the table.
Yes.
We're running the table.
So
I'm still feeling good.
So what are you seeing for final score Sunday night?
31-28.
Oof. Hey,
well, that'll be an exciting game.
Yep. I won't have any fingernails left.
That's your seatbelt, man. It's Sunday night football.
Yep.
Get ready for it. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. These are two really good football teams, two well-coached teams, and they're going to play hard. It's going to be a dogfight. All
right, Jaws. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling.
Appreciate it, Jaws. Yep.
You can see Jaws in the NBC Sports Philly pre- and post-game show on Sunday.